All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Zubaz here with Clone. Clone, good to see you.
How you doing?
Good. So our idea is that we're going to try and get out some more regular content every week and keep it short enough that we don't lose people because I have a tendency to run a little long with my mouth. So we'll just talk about the game. We got the hourglass or the quarter hourglass going. So as soon as that runs out of Mount St. Helens charcoal or whatever is in there, we will stop this podcast. So
What was your? Let's just you and I shoot the shit about the game throughout the week. Thought maybe we do it on recording.
yeah, well, and
What
it's
was your?
good to have you back in the game fully because I'm seeing the old clone come out in you. I saw it this past week when you turned the team around pretty quick in TCL, and I remember how much the game could take over your life when like it take over your emotions, and I think that's also why you're very good at the game. But let's talk about that first because I lost in Octagon, that hurt, but in TCL, like you went on quite a run considering that team was in last place not that long ago.
Yeah, I'm enjoying being back at TCL, but I've always been. I was in Dirty Dozen, so I could talk about that, but I just had to drop it because I already know like I'm still a one team guy and I can only focus on one. And now I feel focused on TCL again. Having
I
a
mean,
hard time keeping up with any of the other ones.
it's
But
all you
yeah,
could think about.
yeah, it's all I can think about. And
Yeah.
I was up 3-1. I did not think this team was going to be that good, but made a miraculous trip to the World Series, and I was up 3-1, and I fucking lost to Hume. I lost to Hume at midnight, and it hurt, but I'm happy that I turned it around. But and you
Well,
had I was texting you about
yeah,
got game 7 coming up, and then you're texting me. What happened in your game 7? I didn't even check.
I
Against
didn't
Jar.
win. No, I didn't win. Jar
Was it
won.
close?
Jar's the we say Jar for those of you who don't know. It's Andujar. He is the people's champion. Everybody likes him more than everybody else. He is the most likable guy in base hit, and he deserved to win. And karma was not on my side.
Was it close?
Oh, I forgot exactly where Game 7 ended.
Did you
But
wear did you
but
wear
he
any
won. Like I felt it throughout the game that he was going to win for sure.
did you wear any special gear when you watched did you watch the game?
No, it was one of those midnight games. And I was tired. But
What speed do you watch the game on in those games?
that's a good question. So I will, for the most important games where I want to soak up all the stress, I'll play it at 4. And then if I'm watching a game that's important, I'll watch it at 5. But normally most games that I watch, and I probably watch play-by-play more than anybody or game view more than anybody else, I'll watch it at 6. And then if I'm down more than 4 runs before the 5th inning, I watch it at 7 or possibly 8 just to get through it. But
Yep.
once I start a game in game view, I can't click out of it. I have to play it through, even if I just send it to 9 and just put it to the moon.
It's like Tetris, like shoving the pieces down on Tetris.
Just bring them all. But there was one time
the same thing.
One time I was down 8-0, and I went to 8, and I went all the way through, and I ended up winning the game 14-8. And I was like, oh no, I missed the greatest game. But that was like 1 in 1,000. So there.
It's like fast forwarding your recording. I did almost the exact same. I was wondering because I don't start at 4. I don't have the patience. If you and I were watching it together, which we've done in the past, maybe I would do that.
We got to start at 5.
Yeah,
right?
5 or 6, and
yes.
then
6 is a nice flow if you're just watching it. 6 is like the perfect number.
And at some point, we need to. I did that data on the win probability in the games, and we need to do that. But I started doing, like, I'm into the jinx, so I always like give myself a 40% chance to win, like to start out. And I started doing a thing where, like, if I get an out, I'm like 41, just in my head, 41.
Oh, I do that too.
42, 43. and then if they get a hit, I'm down to like 20 immediately. But yeah, trying to get through it. And then there were 2 games in a row in that series that I went from speed 6 to speed 8 or 9 instantly with like, fuck this. But the last game was painful.
What was the score last game?
3-2.
I was gonna say I thought it was 3-1. Yeah, it was close. So
so I did say well, so what? So that was, you have any other big wins this week?
I want more people to watch GameView. Like I think it's just such a good way to watch the game chronologically. And I know a lot of people just use the play-by-play and scroll and whatnot, but I don't know why everybody doesn't use GameView. I'd be interested to know if there is like ways that we could improve that people would love it more, because I think it's just such a beautiful way to experience the game.
We got ideas. We got ideas to dance it up, and we have, it's going to come out in the other announcement. But CBT coming in. Surely he's going to be able to
Yes,
add some juice to it.
I want front-end development, first time ever for this game. So it'll be interesting to see what the next year brings.
Yep. I remember you talk about GameView, and I haven't won. I'm getting sad about losing that game because I hadn't won a World Series in TCL in.
But you just came back. You were gone for like 50
I know, but I hadn't won in like 10 years because it was when my first kid, and before that I hadn't won in forever. But it was thinking of like, oh my God, this could be the first one. But remembering that watching one in Wisconsin with you years ago, and my GameView it would be a piece of paper to hold up or whatever to make sure I didn't get the information.
And you had to click on it.
And then scroll. Yeah, you had to get to the right place and then scroll it down. And I mean, that was pretty exciting too.
I can't tell you how much. Actually, I would use one of these things, like one of these long Post-it notes, and I'd stick it to the screen, and then you would kind of hover your mouse until you saw the thing line up.
Then you had to speed. Then you had to do the speed yourself with the scroll.
Yeah, that was even before GameView. I forgot what that was, like a third-party thing. Somebody made that the first.
Oh, this was. Oh yeah, there was that. But I'm talking about just. I would try to read the play-by-play in slow.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know why I brought that up is because I was purging all this old technology stuff, and I was throwing away this old desktop, and I was going through it to see if there's anything on there, and I found that old program, the original play-by-play viewer. Yeah, I found it, and I saved it. Just I don't know why, but
I forgot you had to like download it to your computer or whatever.
Yeah, you had to download it, and it was off a site. I think it was like one of those Pacific Coast League guys made it, and you could download the game logs. So I have some of my old game logs from like 2004 and 5, which is crazy.
So my other thing this week was so I was saying I dropped the Dirty Dozens League. So we were trying out Gold Draft over there, which whatever people may or may not know, but it's trying to do anti-tanking. And
you want to explain it?
I'm not
how Gold Draft works.
The super fast version is that the amount of games you win at the end determine your draft pick. Just it's whatever. You could read about it somewhere else, but the idea was that like if you trade at the end of the game, you make moves at the end of the season, then you get rewarded. And then we realized pretty fast from Slick helping test the system that you could just change your settings and make the team play bad, which is like not fun. So
it's not testing the system; that's gaming the system.
That's gaming the system, yes. Yeah. But so then the anti-tanking measure, and then you were talking about earlier. It'll be controversial, but we could talk about that remake team. I just saw and I don't know the details behind it, but I saw the huge salary cap.
It's his salary in remake is like 108 million. He's won 5 World Series in a row.
How did he get that high?
Well, it's crazy because I don't know all of it off the top of my head, but obviously he had a lot of very good draft picks. And then he made a lot of very aggressive trades and moved it all to offense. And there's 2 seasons back to back where his OPS was like 998. Like it was almost a 1 offense for the entire season for the entire team. And I forgot who I was talking to. It might have been even CBT, but people coming into Remake where they're like, well, I thought I had a good team, but I just got to rebuild. Like he just like scorched earth the league for like 5 years, which is crazy to be able to do that in that active of a league. But like it does like get to the point where it's like the game is most fun when it's the most competitive. And that's why I think like redraft and leagues like that have caught on, because there's a renewal every year. So you don't have to go through this thing where it's like, for the next 5 months, this team is just going to wreck shop.
When we're doing, we've got updates to user stats and everything else coming out. And I'm just going to say, like, controversial or whatever. I consider hard cap leagues to be like playing for real.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like the stuff that goes on in soft cap leagues. I mean, the amount of, I'll have to go back and I apologize to Slick if I'm wrong, but the amount of running up the team that you can do from tanking. I mean, it's just, I know it's that people enjoy.
Well, and
people enjoy playing it in different ways, but
his salary has grown too, because he planned it out so that he would get all these guys when they were young with lower salaries, and the salary has grown over time. But
yeah, but how do you get those guys unless it's
to that
compiling
point,
tons of guys?
There's nobody that was better at manipulating the hard cap back in like 2009 and 10 than me. I mean, those TCL teams, I would get like an $86 million team and go to 5 World Series in a row. And so I agree with you. Like the only way to combat that is to use a hard cap, because if you do it right, you can get your team under the cap and then just grow them over the cap. And but the only way I could do it was through good trades and tanking. So, and like that's what you want to avoid, because competitiveness ultimately dictates the fun.
You want people to come in and feel like trying to make your team good is the way to win, and you'll get rewarded for that. And we're still trying to figure out ways to avoid the opposite, where you figure out the strategy that, oh, maybe making my team bad actually pays off.
I think.
All right, you got one roundup because it's all gone.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'll just say real quick, I also think that finding new ways to create good trade markets is going to be important, so that you're not just building through high draft picks. Like in professional baseball, like the general managers that trade the best are usually the teams with lower salaries that can compete.
Yes, except for the fact that the Astros showed that they were as shameless as any team and willing to tank all those years, and it pays off. I mean, tanking pays off. It's just whatever.
But the Braves proved the other way, but they also have a bigger salary, but they built through the farm system without
Braves
tanking.
have always
There's lots of ways
been solid.
Yeah.
So lots of ways to win. All right, man.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Whatever your thoughts are on this, start the conversation. That's the whole goal of what we're trying to do, is create more conversations. The conversations lead to action. So feel free to bring it up in the forums or Discord or wherever. And we'll see you next week. Clone, thank you very much. See you next time. We're out.